What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out a new AIO from DeepCool. Now this is the LT720 and it's not the first AIO from DeepCool this year. We recently actually saw the LS720 that got released a couple of months back. But anyways, let's see what's new on this new 360mm all-in-one CPU cooler. In the box you'll find mounting brackets and screws, an instruction manual, 3 DeepCool FK120 120mm fans, and finally the AIO itself. Now it is also available as a 240mm version for those of you that do not require quite as much cooling capabilities, and we'll also make sure to leave all the links down in the description to both versions if you guys want to check them out for yourself. I would say that I really like what they've done with the design here. It's not the first time that we've seen an AIO in this kind of cube shape, but it's definitely a nice change from the more rounded designs that you tend to see on the market now. Now, the shape combined with the interesting infinity mirror makes the design look super modern and futuristic. And honestly, I absolutely love the fact that you can just pop the cover off the pump. It makes the installation process so much easier since you don't have to deal with such a bulky pump block. There's also no RGB hub to deal with. It's just a simple 3-pin ARGB connector with a splitter coming off of it, so you can easily daisy chain any other RGB devices onto it. Here's a closer look at the fans. As far as aesthetics go, they're pretty standard looking and no RGB or anything here, so they'll blend right in with most builds. And if you're interested, we'll make sure to leave some stats up on the screen for you as well. They're also using fluid dynamic bearings and have been tuned specifically for optimal static pressure performance. They're also extremely quiet with a noise rating of 32.9 decibels at full load. They come with standard 4-pin PWM connectors, so no daisy chaining functionality here like we saw on the FC120 fans. Although, DeepCool do provide us with a 3-way PWM splitter cable in the box, so you can easily hook them all up to your motherboard without the need of any extra hubs. In terms of mounting options and CPU compatibility, there's several options available. The instruction manual actually does a great job of explaining exactly which mounting hardware to use and how to install the cooler depending on what CPU you are using. Thermal paste is also pre-applied, so we can go straight ahead and install it onto the CPU. In this build, we're using the Intel i9-12900K, which is on the LGA 1700 socket. So we're using the Intel bracket along with these mounts, which DeepCool have painted black this time around to help blend in with the motherboard. And here's a better look at the overall aesthetics of the pump block once it's turned on. What do you guys think of the new design? Do you like it? Do you not? Let us know with a comment down below. But like I said earlier in the video, do remember it does not have a hub included. It just uses an addressable RGB header on your motherboard, so you can change the colors of the lighting in your motherboard's RGB software. Now, with all of that said, let's move over to performance because I know a lot of people will be interested in that. So the pump block is using DeepCool's new 4th gen pump design, which they say has improved flow channels for optimal cooling flow. It also utilizes a 3100 RPM 3-phase motor and operates at a noise level of 19 decibels. Now, DeepCool are a bit different in this regard as they manufacture all their pumps in-house versus a lot of other brands who source their parts from Asetek and just rebrand the exterior. Personally, I have never had an issue with pump failures on any of DeepCool products, and I've owned, honestly, several of them over the past years. Our whole closet is full of stuff from DeepCool that we've personally bought ourselves, so they are definitely reliable and great AIOs to have. It's also using an aluminum radiator, and we do get DeepCool's anti-leak technology here as well, which they did standardize a few years back. By the way, here's the link of the radiator pipes. You shouldn't have any issue in the vast majority of PC cases. We went with a top-mounted radiator setup for this build, and everything reached where it needed to go, and we didn't have any problems. Speaking of the build, we're using the i9-12900K inside the DeepCool CH510. It's not got the best airflow in the world since the front panel does choke off airflow a bit, but obviously there's a lot of variables involved with the CPU temps, like what CPU you're using, what case it's in, or where you have the radiator mounted as well. But with that being said, here are the temps we recorded on the i9-12900K, which was paired with the RTX 4090 in our test build inside the DeepCool CH510. With the side panel off, we were seeing idle temperatures of around 34 degrees Celsius on the CPU, 47 while gaming, and 65 degrees at full load. This was done using an AIDA64 stress test, which included the GPU. And then with the side panel on, we saw idle temps of 37 degrees, 57 while gaming, and 75 degrees on average at full load. So definitely a little higher with the side panel on, but again, there's a lot of variables when it comes to CPU temps. Either way, the LT720 handled the i9-12900K with ease. So I mean, it's a 360mm AIO. It performs very well, just like the majority of other 360mm AIOs do on the market. But I do feel like we're kind of at a point with these sort of components where it really comes down to the price and whether or not you like the look of it. After all, honestly, there's only so much innovation that you can do with a heatsink, a radiator, a pump, and some coolant. But I have to say, one thing that DeepCool has always had going for it is that they're pretty budget friendly when it comes to pricing. The 240mm version of this AIO retails for $109, while the 360mm version we've got here comes in at $139. Which I feel like is a very reasonable price compared to some of the more expensive models from companies like NZXT and Asus. Now, of course, things like build quality and reliability do come into play as well, although, like I said, DeepCool have always had a pretty good track record in this regard, at least on all of their newer AIOs. There is also a 5-year warranty to fall back on in the event that anything does go wrong with your AIO. So all in all, it's another great release from DeepCool. It looks great, the performance is great, the price is great, it literally hits all the boxes if you're looking for a new AIO to put in your computer. If you want to check it out, we'll make sure to put all the links down below in the description. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will catch you in the next one.